So we are on the road to WrestleMania. I know that doesn't usually start till January, but given that it is going to be WrestleMania 40 and that apparently Triple H has a year-long plan, I'm going to assume everybody is on the train right now. That is going to be such a hard task. I mean, remember we tried to do it with The Rock and John Cena. So hello, my name is Simon from What Culture. Please do subscribe, and these are 9 deadly mistakes the WWE has to avoid. If you're saying, Simon, what do you mean deadly? Just let me have my YouTube title fun. Number 9, retiring the women's tag team titles. That's right. For clarity, do not do this. It won't help. Even Corey Graves criticized these on his podcast recently, and he's not wrong. The big issue is that they're just not featured enough, and WWE treats them like they don't care. And if you don't care, how am I? Like my parents. I mean, sometimes they totally vanish off TV, but that's why we need to sit back at the drawing board and make sure we get these right. Because do not forget, when you do have a tag team division like this, it allows the women in the mid-card to have something to do. Otherwise, yep, they too all of a sudden go poof and we don't see them. Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan are the current champions, but as soon as Ronda Rousey is cleared, I would take her and Shayna Baszler, and I would give them these championships before you can say, hey ho, Nintendo. And sure, they're allowed to shout about all of these, much in the same way as Gunther does about the Intercontinental title. Have them run through everyone before we do get to WrestleMania 40, and then do some crazy match like Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Because then you'll be taking a megaphone and going, hey ho, look over here, we think these are important now. Just don't do the shrug emoji though. That's what we've been doing for like 3 years now. It's the whole problem. Number 8, switching plans. So this ties into the Raw after WrestleMania 39. If we do believe everything that was out there, Vince McMahon came back in, he sat in the big boy chair, and he looked at the script and he went, we're not going to do any of that and we're going to change it. And there was a real sadness to this, because ever since Triple H had taken over, that was one of the crazy things that had gone away. Now, not every story that Paul Levesque told was the greatest thing ever, but the fact that it made sense and it continued to tick along, well, it was just nice. And I like nice. Going back to what this video is about too, if one Mr. Levesque does have 12 months of story in the can and he knows where he's going to go and why he went where he did, then you cannot all of a sudden throw this out of the window. Because if we do that, we're going to start looking back at WrestleMania 39 and going, well, that now makes even less sense than it did. It's 2 + 2 = potato. I mean, maybe there was a solid reason that Cody Rhodes lost and we need to see it play out, but that ain't going to happen if Vince McMahon keeps doing his meddling. I don't even care if he makes suggestions and that tweaks things a little bit, but whatever the conclusion is, please, for the love of everything, get there. You can see the finishing line, so get obsessed with it and then run through and accept your cheers. Number 7, Austin Theory, top star. This will annoy people, fine, but stay with me. Do you want to know what the most frustrating thing about Roman Reigns' big old push back in the day was? Nobody actually ever pulled the trigger. It was clear that WWE was going to do this, but they delayed it and they delayed it and they delayed it. And all of a sudden it became like Groundhog Day and you started to look around for Bill Murray. We all knew what WWE wanted to do, so even if we were going, we don't want to see it, for the love of everything, just get it done. So if we have decided that Austin Theory is now going to walk into this spot, once again, like the Nike swoosh, just do it. He did beat John Cena at WrestleMania 39, so let's go absolutely crazy with him and ensure whatever the plan is for WrestleMania 40, we go big guns so we can finally see if he's able to sink or swim. And if he does sink, it doesn't matter. You have to try these things. Otherwise, what the flub are we doing? You can't dilly-dally though, because if you do only go in 50%, you only get 50% of the reaction. It is simple maths. You have to go the big 1-0-0 and believe in what you're doing. And I don't think fans should write him off either, because he is young, he does have a great look, and he clearly knows what he is doing. He just needs the machine behind him, and he needs to be put in better storylines. So yeah, essentially you need that support. Every single performer in the history of the world does, otherwise fans see right through it. And nobody wants that. Makes you the invisible man. 6, forgetting about the Judgment Day. I mean, look at the facts. Both Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio lost at WrestleMania 39, but what happened on the other side? They were bigger stars than ever. And the reason for this is because the Judgment Day have totally smashed it, and they have done this organically as well. Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, Balor and Dominic have just joined together at the hip. And and I think they're damn wonderful. Dom and Rhea especially have a really good relationship. So what happened almost instantly? There were rumors of breaking them up. But why would you do this? Because the condom is getting more heat than ever. Rhea Ripley is the SmackDown Women's Champion. It's just raising her stock every single week. Damian Priest is ready to break out. As far as I'm concerned, Finn Balor is having more fun than he's had in years. But if you want to call them the New Day, that's totally fine. They can go off in their own separate directions, but they have this central hub that they always come back to, and it's known as the Judgment Day. So there's no reason to get to WrestleMania 40 and make sure this is undone unless there is just cause. And from my vantage point here in April 2023, there is not. So instead of trying to think of ways to split them up, why don't we try to think of ways to make him even bigger? Number 5, ruining the ring general. So nobody knows at the moment what the plan for Roman Reigns and the WWE title is. As I keep saying and running into the ground, I hope that Cody Rhodes does defeat him at SummerSlam, but it may not happen. No matter what does come though, in 2023 and 2024, we need to take Gunther, who sits here in my hand, make sure he becomes a tippity-top star. Triple H saw this instantly and ensured that he did go on this record-setting Intercontinental title run. And ever since then, he has just been amazing, having banger after banger with everybody. And he also beat Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 39 and subsequently Sheamus. He's also brought prestige back to this title, something we've wanted for years. And that's why we've got to put the kid gloves on and make sure we treat him carefully. But if you could get to WrestleMania 40 and somehow do the Gunther versus Cody Rhodes feud for the WWE Championship, I actually think you would get everybody, and we'd all be like, oh no, the American Nightmare is in jeopardy, because he's got to take on Gunther. Now the rumors did suggest that Vince McMahon didn't see this magic, so there's every chance he does fall down in the pecking order. But go back to the title of this video, that would be a deadly mistake. Number 4, fighting forever. All right, who wants a debate? Me too. These videos are meant to be a reflection of everybody's opinions, and this is something that everybody is debating on that internet. So as of me speaking, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have fought 48 times in WWE, and I'm including multi-man matches in that. But when it comes to singles competition, they're already up to 18. Now that is a lot, but it does bring up a question. Should WWE split them up in 2023 and have them go into a big old feud that culminates at WrestleMania 40? Maybe, maybe not. Because here is the deal. Given everything we've just said, the fact that Owens and Sami Zayn finally are on the same page, and finally they are friends, maybe we should just let this go on for a little while. I mean, sometimes you do want loveliness in wrestling. Not everything has to be, stabbed you in the back. On the other hand, maybe we do have an opportunity here. Because you just know at some point WWE is going to split up the World Championships again. And given the run that KO and Sami have been on, maybe you do that, and you have them fight over one of the big belts when one of them does win or lose it at WrestleMania 40. Because I'm such big fans of them, I think I would love it. It also means they would finally do this on the grandest stage of them all. I know they've done it before, but again, not for the WWE title. And that could even be where Sami Zayn does become the world champion. And again, who deserves it more than that guy? Wait a minute, no one. Even with all that said, I do think over the next 12 months they should just remain as buddies. That makes me feel all warm and fuzzy in my tum-tum. But talking about my stomach, when I do search my Jedi feelings, yep, I actually think that WWE is going to do it. Number 3, a lackluster Raw Rumble. If you don't know what I mean, go and watch the Raw Rumble from 2022. I'm falling asleep just thinking about it. 2023 for both the men and women was far better. So just do that again. I mean, it's not like we went nuts here. We just went back to the formula that worked and decided to keep doing it. I mean, 2017 was also a dud, so we can't fall back into that madness. And again, it's not like the winners were, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, in 2023. We just made sure there were some interesting stories within the 30-man women over-the-top extravaganza, and that was enough to draw you in. Now, of course, there's room for improvement, because we go back to the men's one. Booker T was the only legend surprise, and you can always do more of those. Plus, we were somewhat reserved in our usage of NXT stars. But there you go, bam, some ideas for you. What we don't want is a return to the moaning and the groaning, because if you do get the Rumble wrong, it does have a massive effect on WrestleMania, because all of a sudden your fan base is like, man, I don't even care anymore, I can't believe they're doing it. To make it work and make us smile, smiling is what life is all about. discuss. Number 2, another Saudi title change. So Roman Reigns should lose the championship at SummerSlam. I keep going on about this, but here's the deal. By that point, he will have held it over 1,000 days, which WWE is obsessed with, and he will be in number 4 in the all-time reign charts after he surpasses Pedro Morales. The thing is, when we do get to Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia, that is actually the night when Roman can come out and say, well, I've done it. I've reached the big 1000. You do know what WWE is like. So I think they may be tempted to do it, and if it was Cody Rhodes, that would be fine. But if it is going to be the American Nightmare, just be patient, don't do it there, and hold off to SummerSlam. I ain't talking about it again. It also makes more sense from a financial point of view, because you can start saying, oh hey, that event we do in the summer is becoming WrestleMania Part 2, and let's face it, even though they are controversial, these Saudi Arabia shows aren't going to go on forever. I actually think it would massively harm WrestleMania if you did do this, especially because SummerSlam has prestige and SummerSlam has history. We should be building on it. I suppose you could wait till WrestleMania 40, but that feels way too long away, especially because in the meantime, we kind of sacrificed Drew McIntyre, we sacrificed Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor. I mean, I could go on with this list, but I'm not going to because it gets kind of crazy. So once again, I doubt WWE has planned to do something at Saudi Arabia, so pick the story and let your fans fill you in like Craig David about whether it was good or whether it absolutely sucked. Number 1, stifling creative. Which brings us to the big one. Boy howdy, this is going to be a roller coaster. Now, it does tie into the Triple H and Vince McMahon debate we talked about earlier, but this one is a little bit different because do you know what we cannot have as we do head towards WrestleMania 40? Triple H ideas and Vince McMahon ideas, which kind of get merged together, because I tell you, that will absolutely suck. I mean, it would be fine if these weren't two alpha males or big dogs going at it, but we know the personalities here, and all that is going to happen is you're going to start watching Raw and SmackDown and everything's going to be bland, because again, these two are just bickering. And I understand that McMahon will have final say in this situation, but that will directly affect the fallout, because you're just going to wind him up. And do you know how many times I've read the story, oh, Vince McMahon only did this to piss off the fans? I don't want to be pissed off anymore. I want to enjoy myself. I mean, WWE is in such an awesome position at the moment, whether you look at merchandise or live gates or just the sheer attendances, and I do think that has helped because the creators have been so good. So let's just keep it going. Look at me. I'm so worried about being a sad panda. You can always forget the other points in this list as long as we get the creative right, because again, that is the centerpiece, that is the lifeblood, that is the baby coming out of the womb. I don't know what that means, but I've said it now and there's no going back. But do not forget as well, we are heading towards WrestleMania 40, which WWE is going to see as a massive deal. And do you know how you ensure it comes across that way to everyone? By setting out your stock and making sure you smash it. Now look, there's going to be a ton of other things to talk about, so make sure you let me know in the comments below. We can go through all of this, and you can like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click one of the videos on the screen to continue your What Culture Wrestling journey. And if you would like to come and say hello, we're on social media at What Culture WWE and SideMiller316. And if you can believe it, we also have a website, whatculture.com. My name is Simon for What Culture. Thank you very much for joining me as always. Also, happy National Hood Week. Can you believe it's come around again? Make sure you put your hoods up today. See you soon.